violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. So guys, the white boys are going crazy. And this whole video is pretty much going to be about the quote-unquote white rage phenomenon, which in all actuality, it's pretty much just a criminal. It's like the results of a pro-criminal, godless society. That's pretty much what I, break it down to being. So we're going to get into this one. A Grovetown teen facing taking of the WAP charges, accused of cutting the name on a victim's body. So this man sexually assaults a woman and cuts his name into her body. It's a white boy now. A Grovetown teenager is charged as an adult with taking of the WAP for an incident that happened earlier this year. Warrants charge Kane Harris Lord with taking of the WAP and aggravated battery for an incident that allegedly happened back on July 9th. The warrants accuse Lord of binding the victim's hands and feet. They go on to accuse him of carving his name into 2 places on the victim's body. So this is absolutely insane. These dudes, obviously he's on demon time. A lot of these young dudes, they have this sexual perversion, maybe from adult films that they're watching or whatever, but they take it to another extent. And this is a result of that, I believe, and it's insane. And you know what? With this criminal justice reform, or this push for criminal justice reform, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out in the near future. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he served 2, 3, 5 years. Honestly, right? Register as a offender and then boom, back out on the streets. Wouldn't be surprised. So we got another white boy, and as you can see, he's fully embraced demon time. The tattoos, face tattoos, really can tell, because sometimes you'll see like these white boys with like tattoos all over their body, and they're just like, I don't know, like more like, yeah, bro, go with the flow type dudes. But this dude looks like he's like on demon time. The face tattoo is the main indicator. The neck tattoos as well. He has a grenade on his neck. But anyways, this is in Acworth, Georgia. The Bartow County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man they say beat a woman to death with a hammer. Deputies were called to a domestic violence incident at the home on Old Alatoona Road around 4 p.m. on Thursday. When they got to the home, they found a woman dead.
As soon as they arrived on scene at that house, Warren police able to make that arrest. As soon as they arrived on scene at that house in Warren, they discovered the woman's body, the victim in this case, inside the house. They placed the man under arrest. They also tell us the person who made the 911 call that brought them there in the first place was the prime suspect in all of this. Warren police spent most of the day and evening at the corner house on Julius and Sharrow Street, investigating a homicide Monday. The body of a woman in her 30s was found in this house with apparent head trauma. Warren Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer telling me they have recovered what is believed to be the murder weapon. Police also arrested a man in this home, also in his 30s, the suspect in the killing. Police say around 2 this afternoon, the same suspect, who is deaf, called 911 and told dispatch he had, quote, just killed a woman, prompting the immediate.
Wow, so this man told on himself. I guess his conscience kicked in. We all know that most brothers wouldn't have did that. So I guess you could say that's a testament to his character. That's crazy though. Like, you go and tell on yourself. I mean, I mean, that's pretty much the difference. Because when we do these stories, we see a lot of brothers, they'll do something like this and then they on the run or whatever. They trying to get their affairs in order. They not going to tell on themselves. Some people turn themselves in, some. But most dudes have to get caught. They got to get ringed in and all that kind of stuff. So, this is wild. This one's crazy.
Response.
We were going to the front door and the side door.
The police confirm they have been to this house before, even showing up the day before the homicide. Neighbors say a friend of the victim was worried about her. Somebody around here at least was concerned enough to say, hey, let's check this out.
Yeah. And she only comes on the weekends too, you know, but she said she hadn't been able to get a hold of her for quite a few days and she was concerned.
Police tell me when they went to check on the house on Sunday, everything appeared to be in order. Less than 24 hours later, however, the same house is a crime scene.
It's a quiet neighborhood. It really is, you know. And there's no police cars going up and down the street. I mean, you know. But like I say, I saw them yesterday, and they were knocking on the door over there.
And they're saying it's a quiet neighborhood, and it really is. I was in Ackworth. The other day. It's pretty chill. It's right outside of Atlanta. But I like the area, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's a quiet area. So, I mean, I guess this is a anomaly in the neighborhood, but you know, you could tell Buddy was kind of thugging.
Those same neighbors say that the suspect and the victim both lived there for a number of years, and outside of the occasional argument, there was nothing out of the ordinary that would spark any concern that would warrant other calls to police. So needless to say, this came as a shock to most of the people I spoke with today. Reporting live, Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, shock to the people you spoke to. What about law enforcement? Does the suspect have any other run-ins with the law?
Yeah, I talked to Commissioner Dwyer about that. He said a few narcotics arrests and some other minor crimes, but nothing to this scale, obviously, and not a real big, long history of violence. But as I mentioned, they had been there before. They had done welfare checks. We are supposed to learn more about this case in the coming days.
Dave Spencer for us live in Warren. Thank you.
Parents are rushing as much as they can to that Meyer to pick their children up over at the Garden Center. The Meyer's is north of the school. Jason Colthorpe is there. I know you've been talking with parents. Jason, give us the very latest. As we see people in place.
Yeah, this is actually Trayshawn and his mom, Robin Redding, who Trayshawn actually didn't go to school today. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him. He was actually just briefing police on what is believed to be kind of the threat that was leading up to this. Trayshawn, just a second, I'm going to start with your mom. Walk me through what this was like as a parent and explain. Trayshawn didn't go to school today because of a perceived threat, correct?
Well, he didn't go to school today because he was just not feeling comfortable with going to school. He had a conscience of saying, like, I don't want to go to school today.
So we're talking about the Oxford shooting here, and this brother, he wasn't feeling school. His mama didn't let him go to school, and he avoided getting shot.
Can I just do it online? So I just said, okay, yeah. But then before him saying that, he said, Mom, none of the rest of the kids is going today. And I said, why? The rest of them not going? And he said, no. So I said, okay. He said he wasn't answering because all of them always say, I'm ready, I'm up, I'm getting on the bus, or meet me here, that nature. And that wasn't happening today.
And why was that? Was there an uneasy feeling about the kids?
Yeah, that was just an uneasy feeling that he had and didn't want to go.
I just got like a little feeling that like when I got up today, like I text me and my little cousins because I'm a senior, like they're like a little bit younger than me, so I text them and I was like, is anybody up? Who's going to school? Like, get up, let's go, we're going to school. No one responded, so I'm like, man, this is weird, like we never do this, like either like somebody's sick or like something's wrong.
And one of the reasons why they may have made that that decision is because apparently the little white boy who shot up the school, Ethan Crumbley, he had a countdown going on his Instagram talking about he was gonna or it was the Devil's Day or something like that. I'll show you guys.
So I'm like,
what was worrying everybody? There had been some ominous threats posted in recent days. Is that right?
yeah, that is right. That it is. I've been hearing the threats too, and it's like, kids, they play around and say, oh, we're gonna shoot up the school or this. You don't supposed to play around with that.
Right.
Like, this is serious. You can't do that. So I mean, like, it's a lot of stuff that's been going on. This school, it's been tragic, and it's like, I mean, like, it's a lot of stuff that's been going on. This school, it's been tragic, and it's like, I don't even know. It's just.
When you heard about what was going on at school today, you weren't there, but then you learned there's an active shooter. What was going through your mind?
My first thing when I got up, I put my shoes on, put my coat on, I told my mom, come on, let's go. I have a friend, he's more like my cousin. I think of him as my cousin. And I said, he's in there. He's the only one that went to school. And I need to get up there to get him out of that school because I don't want anything to happen to him.
And he is okay?
Yeah, he is fine. He's at home. He's a little bit scared, but he'll be okay. It's just been crazy.
Now, the threats that we've been talking about, I was just talking to the undersheriff again about that. They're looking into these threats. There was something posted about a deer head. Tell me about that.
That happened probably a month ago, which is like somebody cut off a deer head, his neck, right on his neck.
An actual deer head.
The actual deer head, blood and everything, and threw it in our courtyard in our school, which you have to get inside the school to get in that courtyard.
So people are doing some weird demonic type devilish stuff at this school, it's safe to say. So I just want to show you some of the things that people on Twitter were pointing out. This is the guy, Ethan Crumbley, 15-year-old sophomore. So a lot of people knew that he was making threats. He put this up on his looks like Instagram or TikTok. The deer head only at Oxford. He says the fact that they let this sick satanic loser go to school is something I hope the Oxford administration is never forgiven for. Mans did a whole countdown. You effing disgraceful AB. So yeah, he did a countdown on when he was gonna shoot the school up. In the countdown, let's see, it says Return of the Devil. That's what it says. Robin Redding, the parent of a 12th grader, told the Associated Press that there had been rumblings of trouble at the school. He was not in school today. She said, he just said that, Ma, I don't feel comfortable. None of the kids that we go to school with are going today. Jody Job, chair of the Oakland County Democratic Party and a candidate for the state house in 2020, said her son didn't go to school Tuesday because he felt like something was going to go down. Okay, so maybe your kids, they have that intuition and they know what's going on in the school. So, wow. And this is a statement that the school put out. They said, good morning, OHS parents. I wanted to send out this message to clarify some of the rumors that have started this morning. There is no present threat of danger at Oxford High School. Before school began this morning, we identified graffiti on the cement outside of our pool entrance doors. We immediately notified security, the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, and our custodial staff. This vandalism was created by an individual with red acrylic paint very early this morning and did not contain any threats or any concerning messages. This same individual also climbed on top of the school building and painted several windows with the same red acrylic paint. None of the paint on the roof indicated a threat to our building. Security personnel reviewed camera footage and confirmed this person did not gain access into the building as OHS is locked and secure. Unfortunately, this person did throw the head of a deer into a locked, inaccessible courtyard while on the roof. The deer was from a nearby location off campus, likely struck from a vehicle prior to today. There was no blood from the animal found on campus or on the roof, as earlier reported on social media. With the help from the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, we did identify and locate the suspect. At this time, this is a police investigation, and we can assure our students, staff, and parents the suspect is not a threat to our building. They also put out another statement. It says, we are aware of numerous numerous rumors that have been circulating throughout our building this week. We understand that has created some concern for students and parents. Please know that we have reviewed every concern shared with us and investigated all information provided. Some rumors have evolved from an incident last week, while others do not appear to have any connection. Student interpretations of social media posts and false information have exacerbated the overall concern. We want our parents and students to know there has been no threat to our building nor our students. The safety and security of our students and staff is always our top priority. To accomplish this task, OHS has numerous highly trained professionals who work to keep our building safe and secure. We have counselors and social workers who work with students on a daily basis. We also have 2 highly trained security guards and an Oakland County resource officer on site who assists us as well. Please contact us if you are aware of a specific threat or concern that you have heard directly. Okay? So they were aware of the threat, the concern. They didn't beef up security. It looks like they dropped the bag and, they're left with ish on their face. So yeah, here's the guy again. He had this Instagram. It looks like a lot of weird stuff. A Tyler the Creator picture. It looks like a Saw picture of Jigsaw. The gun. Targets. This one looks like Travis Scott. This one is Emmett Till. So this dude was definitely disturbed. So that's the school reply. So yeah, this is just a screenshot of people discussing who it was before the name was actually put out to the media. And then this one I thought was funny. They're trying to compare this guy to Timothy Simpkins, who shot up the school in Texas, but it's not really the same thing. Because this guy, their intentions were obviously different. But Ethan Crumbley obviously is locked up, and the homie Timothy Simpkins got back to see his family. How do I feel about that? It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy that he got a bond. It's pretty wild. But honestly, at this point, it's like, it is what it is, man. People getting bonded out all the time. Definitely Ethan Crumbley. He, in my opinion, put him to death. Death penalty all day. But Timothy Simpkins, the whole thing around that, it feels like a more street situation, but he definitely needs to be punished. I'm not saying he don't need to be punished, but it's a different situation than Ethan Crumbley, obviously.
These are the dots that still need to be officially connected. Where did that dad buy the gun? And how did the 15-year-old suspect get his hands on it? And if the parents did not secure it and the ammunition, they could face some serious charges.
Difficult. The Oakland County prosecutor using one word to describe her interaction with the parents of the alleged Oxford school shooter, Ethan Crumbley, seen here on social media, handcuffed and in the process of being hauled away Tuesday. According to the sheriff, the 15-year-old used his dad's 9mm semi-automatic handgun he bought on Black Friday to take the lives of 4 students and injure 7 others.
Wow, so he took his dad's gun and boom.
We know that owning a gun means securing it properly and locking it and keeping the ammunition separate and not allowing access to other individuals, particularly minors. It's not clear how the high school sophomore was able to get his hands on his dad's weapon. Although she didn't elaborate, prosecutor Karen McDonald says her office is considering charges against both James and Jennifer Crumbley, seen here attending Ethan's arraignment. And we will be making a decision swiftly.
Well, you can't allow anyone under the age of 18 unsupervised access to your handguns.
Bill Cusick, owner of Action Impact Gun Range, says the state and federal law are very clear, but usually just impacts the owner of the gun.
We don't know where James purchased the Sig Sauer SP 2022, but Cusick says it is not in stock at many dealers because that model hasn't been manufactured in several years. Cusick says this gun, which has a hair trigger and can shoot and cycle quicker than others, could have been purchased through a private seller.
If it was purchased from a citizen and the buyer has a concealed pistol license, then you need only execute what's referred to as a pistol sales record, and there wouldn't be a background check.
We looked into the criminal background of both James and Jennifer Crumbley, which include driving under the influence, driving on suspended license, and writing worthless checks. All misdemeanors when they lived in Florida and would.
So the parents are little scammers and whatnot. That's wild. So, I mean, they're just pretty much regular people, it seems like.
Not prevent them from passing a background check mandated by the state to purchase a gun.
If the incident yesterday, with 4 children being murdered and multiple kids being injured, is not enough to revisit our gun laws, I don't know what is.
So this is them trying to go after the guns, use this as an example. It's just a false equivalency, in my opinion. This boy is obviously crazy. Maybe they was bullying him. Maybe they wasn't. Who knows? But it looks like they need to take a deeper look into these students. Obviously, the school dropped the ball. They had foreknowledge of something happening. They should have reported something like that to the FBI.
But when it comes to safety in schools, Cusick doesn't believe we need stricter laws, just more protection by arming willing teachers and staff.
When you're facing somebody with a firearm, you don't have many options.
I don't know about arming teachers because a teacher could also leave their gun. A teacher could also leave their gun in the classroom, misplace it, whatnot. I don't really like that. Just get more resource officers patrolling the halls.
You know, fortunately, more children weren't killed in this.
Now, the sheriff also revealing today the shooter fired off more than 30 rounds and had more ammunition on him. Did he also get that from his father? We should learn more from the prosecutor if the charges are filed. Monica?
So, Taryn, the suspect's dad bought this gun 4 days before on Black Friday. We know that is a very, very big day for gun sales.
Yes, in fact, according to the FBI, this Black Friday produced the most gun sales to date. But why did James Crumbley buy that gun that day? We still don't know.
All right, more to come. Thanks, Taryn.
So, guys, this just came in, and I have to speak on it. Apparently, the mother of this boy who shot up the school said that she wasn't mad at him and that he shouldn't have got caught.
This individual with 1 count of terrorism causing death, 4 counts of first-degree murder, 7 counts of assault with intent to murder.
And I did say that the parents look like regular people. They look like regular people, but they might be on some occultic, satanic type. They might be bringing this child up to do things like this. I mean, and obviously he's pretty much donezo. But they might have a bigger part in what went on.
And 12 counts of possession of a firearm and the commission of a felony. What about all the children who ran, screaming, hiding under desks? What about all the children at home right now who can't eat and can't sleep and can't imagine a world where they could ever foot back in that school? Those are victims too, and so are their families, and so is the community. And the charge of terrorism reflects.
So, guys, prosecutors are filing manslaughter charges against the parents of the suspect in the Michigan shooting. And I will show you exactly what happened. It says they purchased the firearm as a Christmas gift for their son. Jennifer and James Crumbley were each charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Their 15-year-old son, Ethan, is accused of fatally shooting 4 students and injuring 7 others at Oxford High School on Tuesday. So that, I mean, they bought the gun for him. It wasn't just the dad bought the gun. No, they bought it for him. And he went and took it to the school and did what he did. Yeah, the whole family is getting a bunk, and dad might share a cell with his son. The gun had been stored in an unlocked drawer in the house, and Crumbley's parents did not ask where it was when they were called to the school the day of the shooting for a disturbing drawing their son made of a firearm, said Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald at a news conference Friday. So the kid was making weird drawings, and it really sounds like some paranormal activity stuff. Crumbley had posted about the firearm online and researched ammunition while at school. McDonald said the investigation revealed he was also allowed to return to class on the day of the shooting after the meeting with his parents. Okay, the facts of this case are so egregious. So he had a parent-teacher conference. They confronted him, and then right after that, he went and shot the school up. Crumbley was charged Wednesday as an adult with murder, terrorism, and other crimes in what investigators describe as a methodical and deliberate massacre. When asked whether her office was looking into charges for any school officials, McDonald said the investigation was ongoing. While the shooter was the one who entered the high school and pulled the trigger, there are other individuals who continued to the events on November 30th, and it's my intention to hold them accountable as well, she said. Here's what we know. Friday, prosecutors say the gun was a Christmas present. At a news conference Friday, McDonald laid out how the suspect obtained the firearm and other warning signs in the days leading up to the shooting. McDonald said that the suspect was present when his dad purchased the 9mm 6 Sauger SP 2022 on November 26th, the same day the suspect posted photos of the weapon online, calling it his new beauty. His mom said in a post the following day, "Mom and son day testing out his new Christmas present," McDonald said. Clearly, based on the statements of the shooter and the statement of the mom, that was his gun. Suspect's drawing prompted worries on day of shooting. The 15-year-old suspect was also caught looking up ammunition online while at school before the shooting. McDonald said school officials contacted his mother about the online search, leaving a voicemail and email, but received no response. Crumbley's mother instead texted him the same day, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught," McDonald said. So he was looking up ammunition online at the school, and she goes, "You have to learn not to get caught." That's wild. Hours before the shooting, Crumbley was found with a disturbing drawing that included a drawing of a firearm and someone who appeared to be bleeding, McDonald said. A teacher took a photo of the drawing, and Crumbley's parents were immediately contacted. When the drawing was brought to the school counselor with Crumbley and his parents present, Crumbley had altered it, McDonald said. But they did get the picture. A counselor told the parents their son needed to get counseling, but Crumbley was able to return to class. His parents did not ask him about the firearm at the time, nor did they search his backpack, McDonald said. Of course, he shouldn't have gone back to the classroom, McDonald added. He should have been suspended. After reports of the shooting at the school, Jennifer Crumbley texted her son Ethan, "Don't do it," McDonald said. James Crumbley drove home to search for the firearm and called 911 to report it missing, saying he believed his son was the shooter. Okay, so it looks like they were proactive after the fact, but I don't know. I still... They have a lot of accountability in this. They hold a lot of the onus, and they should be charged. I'm angry as a mother. I'm angry as a prosecutor. I'm angry as a person that lives in this county. I'm angry. There were a lot of things that could have been so simple to prevent. So let me just say this, though. Because these parents are charged, are we going to start charging these little, SoundCloud shooters who are shooting up? Are we going to start charging they mamas? Because a lot of them know about these shootings, and they house their own kids who shot up this and shot that and slid on these ops and slid on those ops. They know, they talk about it with their kids, they laugh about it, whatever. Are we going to charge those mothers as well? That's just a question. Copycat threats circulated on social media, and district canceled classes Thursday out of caution for student safety. A 17-year-old student in Southfield about 30 miles from Oxford High School, was arrested Thursday with a semi-automatic pistol. A bomb threat was also made at Southlake High School, about 45 minutes from Oxford. So let's see. Yeah, we can read the rest of this. If you're making threats, we're going to find you, Bouchard said during a news conference Thursday that was specifically called to address the estimated hundreds of copycat threats reported. It is ridiculous. You're inflaming the fears and passions of parents, teachers, and the community in the midst of a real tragedy. The FBI and Secret Service are also investigating threats. People who make false threats could face charges for false threat of terrorism, which is a 20-year-old felony, and misdemeanor malicious use of a telephone, McDonald said. Meanwhile, parents are walking a fine line of ensuring their children's security without affecting their kids' mental and emotional health. I felt like I was going to throw up, said Jill Dillon, 51, recalling dropping off her 14-year-old son to school Wednesday morning. It was nauseating, thinking that I'm supposed to be taking him someplace safe, and he is really going, and he is really going to be safe. I guess that was a question. And is he really going to be safe? Okay. David Roden, a 14-year-old freshman at Northville High School, which stayed open Thursday, said the confusion of what's real and what's not was the scariest part. Everyone was on edge. It's just kind of weird being close to the situation. Fake Instagram accounts multiply. Fake social media accounts claiming to be the 15-year-old charged in the Oxford High School shooting began popping up even before his name was released by law enforcement, and some made threats about additional shootings and plans for revenge. When direct threats may lead to criminal charges, the spread of false information via deceiving accounts is a common problem in the wake of mass shootings. Often is not illegal and sometimes does not violate social media platforms' terms of services, but they're banning conservative voices on social media platforms. Unfortunately, poor taste is not against the law, said Lieutenant Mike Shaw of the Michigan State Police. It is unlikely any social media accounts that chronicle Crumbley's alleged criminal activity remain active on these platforms, said Cliff Lampy, professor at the University of Michigan School of Information. In active threat situations, the social media accounts of alleged perpetrators are taken down through an opaque process, Lamp said. Platforms are alerted either by their own algorithms or by law enforcement. The tendency of social media platforms to make some user accounts disappear in the night can help feed the creation of these fake accounts. Lampy said, however, the common practice of setting up sock puppets online would happen regardless. He said, sock puppet accounts and spoof accounts have been part of internet culture for almost as long as the internet has been around.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.